And good. The two little topics to start with. Again, they're a lot of lumbus in these topics, but two little topics, and then we'll get to the one that I wanted to talk a little more about, and that is, as we'll see, buses. First, there is a smaller topic called creation of Muktzah and removal of Muktzah. They're kind of opposite topics. Creation and removal of Muktzah. So the halacha is that one is not allowed to, on purpose, create Muktzah on Shabbos. One cannot create Muktzah on Shabbos. That's a Mishnah in Maseches Shabbos. The Mishnah tells us on Daf Mem Beis Amid Beis. The Mishnah tells us you're not in Kli Tachas Haner or Kababos Hashemen. Let's say there is dripping oil, which is Muktzah oil. It's Muktzah Machmas Isser. It's dripping oil from a candle or from some other type of source. So I'm going to put a little bowl there in order to catch it. That's normal. I don't want it to spill all over the place. I'm going to bowl there. What's the problem? That bowl now is going to become Muktzah. It's going to become what we will learn about a little later. It's going to be a basas l'davar ha'aser. It's going to be Muktzah. It's going to be a base for a Muktzah item, and therefore it will become Muktzah. So I'm not allowed to do that. If I did it before Shabbos, I'm allowed to do that before Shabbos. But on Shabbos, that's klul. The Gemara calls that aser levatel kli mehechano. I am aser to remove and nullify a kli from its uses on Shabbos. Why is that? So many different cheetahs in the Rishonim. Like, what is that a problem of? So Rashi says, you look, the Gemara says, mevatel kli mehechano. Rashi says in Shabbos Daf Mem Beis that it's like bona. Right, it's like your Rashi's lashon is kovea lo makom umechabro betit b'dami l'malacha. If you put something that becomes muktzah, so you're basically ruining. You can't move it anymore. So you are as if you're gluing it to the ground. And therefore, when you attach something to the ground like that, that's bona. That's like a malacha of creation. So that's the Rashi in Shabbos Mem Beis. Rashi later on has the opposite shita. Shabbos Kuf Chav Ches, Rashi says you're being soser, you're destroying. Destroying usage of an item on Shabbos is aser. Again, this is all midrabanan. So because when you put it there, you're no longer going to be able to use it. But either way, there's a lot of lumbus here. Tosfos discusses, and the Bnei Yeshua, I gave you, what do you need both reasons for, bona and soser, but that's the halacha. One is not allowed to make something muktzah on Shabbos. So it doesn't really come up that often. Sometimes things become muktzah by accident, or at least not with your intention. If I eat nuts, or if I peel an orange, that orange peel is now muktzah, right? I'm creating muktzah there, but that's okay. But I'm not like trying to create muktzah there. I'm just eating. That's defined as an act of eating, and I have now produced certain items that are muktzah, but that's okay. And as we discussed last week, one can move them because of graf shalrei, because of covered abrios, as we mentioned. But let's say, if think of other cases that come up, let's say there is a leaky air conditioner that's dripping water. So we assume that water is muktzah. That's nolad. Discussed that a little bit last week. Rain from the clouds, the Gemara says, is not nolad. It was in the clouds when Shabbos started. But water from the air conditioner, that's worse. That's taking moisture from the air and changing it into, it's not considered like clouds. And therefore that water can be muktzah. So how can you put a pail under there if you get a leak on Shabbos? So in that case, what one would do is to put something, a non-muktzah item, in the pail as well. And if one does that, so then one wouldn't be violating this, because then the pail wouldn't be aser, as we will talk about later. It will be aser l'davar aser ula davar hamuter. The Mishnah Berurah says that's what you should do in Siman Reis Samachay Sivav. Eish bekli davar hamuter muter lahanicho tachas haner kadei lekabel bo shemen. Because you have something muter in there. Put a tuna can in the pail. Something in the pail that's not muktzah, so then one would be able to move it. Or another example, this might come up. Something that comes up in the summer. Putting something on a tree on Shabbos. So we know we've mentioned that there is an Isser of Ishtamchus Eitzim. We mentioned that at some point, right? The Chazal Asr using trees on Shabbos. Zera Shema, you're not allowed to climb a tree. You're not allowed to lean on a tree. You can't use a tree on Shabbos because Zera Shema Yikser, you might come to rip off a branch. So putting something on a tree on Shabbos is basically making a Muktzah. But then I'm not going to be able to take it off. That is now on a tree. You taking it off is using the tree also. So not only am I not allowed to put it on, I'm putting it into a situation where I'm not allowed to take it off. So the Eglei Tal writes, I want you to be careful about that. I want you to be careful about not putting any kalim. Let's say I'm going inside. I'm going to put the svarim on a branch while I go inside to the bathroom or something. I want you to not put it on a tree because the issue of using a tree and also making it into a situation where it would be a muktzah. And one final, Yonatan.
Aren't kalim svarim inherently muchan? So why would it be an issue?
They are muchan, except if they are in a situation where Chazal aserd you're, taking them or putting them somewhere, right? Svarim are muchan, but if they're in a car, you can't go into the car if the light's going to go on, right? Svarim are muchan, but if they're on a tree, you're not going to be able to get them. So that's why it would be the situation would make it a problem. And one final suggestion that Shmir Shabbos says, let's say I'm eating garinim or something like that with nuts and seeds. I'm taking off the shells and peels. So the Shmir Shabbos says, source number 10 if you have it, klipos atzamos v'garine peros, seeds or peels, chen shard ramasur matilta. We mentioned. So now that's muktzah in my hand. So what do I do with that muktzah? L'chadchila lo yanicham al tzalachas. L'chadchila, one shouldn't put it as a plate in front of them. Might not be a good idea to put it on a plate. Maybe better on the tablecloth, on a napkin. Why? If there's something mutter on the plate, so then you're putting that on the plate also. So, okay, there's a kapit, there's a spoon, or a piece of bread. Because again, I am creating a basis for a certain situation. Again, you might be able to move it in a few minutes because of the heter of graf shalrei, as we said, because you are, it's disgusting to you. But even for those few moments, put it on a table. There's a lot of things on the table that are not muktzah. So you're not creating anything else, as we're going to learn later. If there's a base, something that's holding a muktzah item, and muktzah bottom thing does not become muktzah. But putting it on a plate, that plate already would become muktzah, so it might be better to put something else on the plate beforehand, and in that way, it would be okay. He says, if it's a disposable plate or a napkin, then there's no problem. Then there's no problem because you're not being mevatel kli. It's not really considered a kli if it's disposable. You're going to throw it out in 5 minutes, and therefore that would be mutter. That would be mutter. He does note. So what about putting things in a garbage? You have a garbage in your kitchen. So you're going to put all the disgusting things in the garbage. Let's say the garbage can is empty before Shabbos starts, and now you're putting stuff in the garbage. Doesn't that make the garbage can muktzah? You're filling it up with muktzah items. Isn't that being mevatel, like putting a pail underneath the dripping oil, and then you're putting the stuff? Why am I allowed to put stuff in the garbage? So the Shmir Shabbos says because that's its purpose. Shmir Shabbos says if that's the purpose that it's made for, and to be dumped out in the outside garbage and brought back in, so then it wouldn't be a problem. That's not a problem of mevatel kli. You're not being mevatel because it's meant for this purpose. Lo nikra mevatel kli rakim mevatlo imashu muchan. If you're changing from what it was meant to be used for, but this is what it's meant to be used for. It's meant to hold the garbage. Besides the fact that there probably is stuff in the garbage that's not muktzah. But even so, it's meant for this. You're not destroying its purpose. You're using it for its purpose. And therefore, it wouldn't be a problem to take it out. It's not muktzah. It's not a basis, as we'll talk about soon. And therefore, it would be okay. There's a couple of examples where we see this topic. Again, the yesod is one is not allowed to create something, make something muktzah on Shabbos. Okay, yes, Yonatan.
So what if one had a pail that like was designated and was always like catching water for them when things leaked?
Right. So you're saying, let's say before you have a leaky air conditioner that you know about before Shabbos, and it just has a pail there, and you always like keep. So then l'chora, according to this svara, will be mutter. The only problem is if you all of a sudden have a leak and you take something that's not normally used and you put it there. But if not, it wouldn't be. Okay. So that is all. Number one, about making something muktzah on Shabbos. Now let's get to kind of the opposite. Once something is muktzah, when Shabbos starts, it's muktzah for the entire Shabbos. And that's the principle that the Shulchan Aruch quotes. It's on the next sheet if you have it, if you're on the seat on the chat. Source Siman Shin Yud. If something's muktzah when Shabbos starts, it's muktzah for the whole Shabbos. Bein be'isr achila, bein be'isr tiltel. All davar she'aroy ben hashmashos. If it was roy when Shabbos started, and then something happened, and now it's roy again, it's fine. But if it's muktzah when Shabbos started, davar she'uksa ben hashmashos asr kol hayom, asr the entire day. The determining factor for muktzah on Shabbos is when Shabbos starts. Migu diskatoi ben hashmashos. Since it's muktzah when Shabbos starts, it is muktzah for the whole Shabbos. Why? What's the svara? Again, what's the whole idea of muktzah? Muktzah means separate, not prepared. Preparation has to be done before Shabbos. Muchan. The state of muchan has to be there before Shabbos. And therefore, if it's not, right, the Mishnah Berurah quotes in Shin Yud, the ikar hachana mibod yom. Right, you need to do it before. That's migud eskatoi. Most assume that it only applies if it was muktzah the entire bein hashmashos. The entire bein hashmashos. 50 to 20 minutes or so, let's say. If it was only muktzah for a part of bein hashmashos, then it would be okay. The Shulchan Aruch Harav says that beferish calls zeb b'davar shu muktzah kol bein hashmashos. The entire bein hashmashos. If it is something, muktzah for a moment, then it wouldn't be a problem. There's a big limit on this factor, on this yisod. Migudas katzoi only applies if a person made it muktzah. What was called in muktzah language, achya b'yadayim. He actively made it muktzah. But if it wasn't a human being, it was just the reality, then it could be that it could lose its muktzah status. For example, the Shulchan Aruch talks about a case. There's a chola on Shabbos. Chola sheish bo sakana. So somebody shechts an animal so that chola could eat. Chola could eat. Is a healthy person now allowed to eat some of that animal? It would shechted it beheter. It would shechted for the chola, but there's some leftover. Or you shecht an animal that doesn't need so much. So says the Shulchan Aruch, Ashochet l'chola b'Shabbos l'chola. Even if the person wasn't sick when Shabbos started, still, mutter habari lechol mimenu chai. The bari could eat, some of the meat raw, right? It can't be cooked for him, but if it's raw, something could be eaten. What's the question? Why isn't the animal muktzah? The animal was muktzah machmas iser when Shabbos started. So it was shechted for the chola. I'm not the chola. How am I allowed to eat the animal? It was muktzah, the entire bein hashmashos. Muktzah l'mitzvah, muktzah machmas iser. Says the Mishnah Berurah, lo amrina da behemehi muktzah machmas iser, is katzoi bein hashmashos machmas iser shchita. Don't say that it is muktzah because that's what it was the entire bein hashmashos. Also pam lo hayachol adayin because he wasn't even sick yet. He didn't have in mind to shecht it. So why isn't it muktzah? Because we, as the Gemara says in many places, in Beitzah and Shabbos, Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon holds of less muktzahs than Rabbi Yehuda. Sometimes the Gemara says Rabbi Shimon doesn't hold a muktzah. Doesn't mean he doesn't hold a muktzah. It means he holds of less muktzahs than Rabbi Yehuda. What does he agree to, though? Lesle muktzah elahecha de dachye biyadayim. Where you created the Isser. You literally pushed it away with your hands. You go ner shedliku alav b'ozer Shabbos. You lit a candle. You did an action. You lit a candle, so that candlestick is usher. The candlesticks in all of our houses are usher to move even after the candles go out, because the candles were muktzah when Shabbos started. Regarding the animal, I didn't do anything. Hashem made the animal. I wasn't doche biyadayim this animal, and therefore it wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't be a problem. What happens if a fruit becomes ripe on Shabbos? Right? There was a fruit that it wasn't ready. Sometimes you have bananas. Bananas, it wasn't really ripe when Shabbos started. It wasn't edible. Right? It wasn't edible. And now it's edible. If it was edible, it's still probably not muktzah. Let's say it wasn't edible and now it's edible. So again, that could be another example. I wasn't dochet biyadayim, and therefore it would be okay. Fascinating question that's asked by the Mishnah Berurah, or by others as well. When Shabbos starts, our soup is boiling hot. You can't eat it at that moment. Why isn't that muktzah? Why don't we say migudis katsoi, all the boiling hot food that we won't be able to eat? We can't eat it at that moment in the state that it's in. But we all eat it. The question is why? Why isn't that muktzah if we know that it's inedible, so to speak, on Shabbos? So what's the answer? The answer is it's in my control to remove that problem right now. Gomro bidei adam. Anything that is gomro bidei adam, if a person could remove the problem right away, then that's not really called muktzah. And therefore, you don't apply migu iskatsoi. I can make it fit right now. I can take it off the fire. Not a problem. So if I could remove the problem anytime, the principle of migu iskatsoi does not kick in. That's what the Shmir Shabbos says. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. The Mishnah Berurah says, "Avar shenigmar bidei adam." You go tomorrow. I'm shenasan olayim erev Shabbos. Whatever. I'm soaking something. I didn't have Asach Das. I didn't remove my das from it, and therefore it's not a problem. I could take I could take it out anytime. And I know it's going, I know I have that power, and I know that I'm going to do it. Muktzah is all about mesiach das from it. It's totally out of my mind. And I pushed it out of my mind. But here I could remove the problem anytime, and therefore it would be okay. Right? What happens? Another example of something that I did not remove my mind from. What if you have something that's soaking wet from when Shabbos starts? It just came out of the wash. So again, there too. I want to wear it tomorrow. What do you mean? When Shabbos started, it was muktzah. When Shabbos started, it was dripping wet. I can't. You're not going to handle dripping wet clothing on Shabbos. You might come to squeeze it out. So why is that mutter? So again, the answer is because that's not really muktzah. You know it's going to be changed over Shabbos. Either memela or you could change it, like the case of the hot food. And therefore, that's gomer b'dei adam, and it would be okay. There's more here. There's some lumdis here that I gave you, but we'll leave the migdus gatzoi for now. Go look at the other marmakomos. Let's, though, now with the time that we have left, discuss a major, very lamaisa topic, which we've already touched on, but we'll talk about it more now, and that's the sugya of basis l'davar ha'aser. Basis l'davar ha'aser. If you want lumdis, I gave a lumdis on the daf shir about this 2 months ago. Check the OU site in the the lumdis, like in Parakira. So it's on daf mem ches or so, mem tes, mem zayin. Probably earlier, one of those shiurim, feel free. The principle of basis. What is basis? Basis means a non-muktzah item. A non-muktzah item serving as a base. Similar word, base, basis. A non-muktzah item serving as a base for a muktzah item. Halacha is the non-muktzah item becomes muktzah. Not to move it. Non-muktzah item. Let's say I have money in my wallet. So my wallet, what my wallet is in muktzah, is going to become muktzah because the money is in there. I have candlesticks on a tray. The tray is going to become muktzah because the candlesticks, it's a basis for the candlesticks. It comes up all the time, the sugya of basis. Again, the big question in London, the hakira is it? And it's already shown already. The muktzah item become batel, and therefore a basis situation, but it's not. What does that mean? It's a basis situation, but it's not. What in the days of the Mishnah talks about. Let's say I wrapped a pot in something in insulation. That's muktzah insulation. I wrapped it with insulation. So I didn't really. So the wool, the Mishnah talks about in Shabbos, there's raw wool on the pot. So I want to take off the pot cover. The pot cover is not muktzah, but there's raw wool on top of it. Is that a basis l'davar aser? The wool's on top of the pot cover. Say the Rishonim no. Because what's servicing what? The pot cover isn't servicing the wool. The pot cover is a tafel to the wool? No. It happens to be the opposite shape. The muktzah is on top, but they're clear. So sometimes if you'll have a case of muktzah on top of a non-muktzah item, but it's clearly not servicing the muktzah item, then that doesn't create basis. Number one. Number two, Rav Moshe talks about basis, libasis is also aser. Right, the case of the candlesticks. Let's say, again, nowadays not everybody does it. They put their candlesticks somewhere else on a shelf. Let's say you have candlesticks on your Shabbos table. Candlesticks on the Shabbos table. So the candlesticks are on a tray on the table. The tray is a basis. What about the table? What about the table? The basis? Rav Moshe says yes. That's why you're going to have other things on the table when Shabbos starts. But technically, basis is also a problem basis. The table, and therefore, let's say you had nothing on the table when Shabbos started, except the candlesticks and the tray. You cannot move that table to a different part of the room on Shabbos. So there's a basis, it's muktzah. You could use it. Use the table muktzah. So in that case, one would not be able to move the table. The Shmir Shabbos discusses, what if there was a tablecloth? And it would be okay. Number one. That was number one, only if the basis is servicing the dvar muktzah. Number two, even basis to a basis. I'm not reading so much inside just to make sure that we get through. Number three, Shulchan Aruch says, again based on the Gemara and the Rishonim, shachach versus heiniach. Did you put it down there on purpose to be there all Shabbos, or did you forget it there? Forgetting something does not create a basis. Right? This is the common case. You come back to your room Friday night and your computer is on your bed. Does your bed become a basis? Does your blanket become a basis? Can't move your blanket? No. You didn't mean to put the computer there. You forgot it there. Even if you put it down, you meant to move it before Shabbos. That's called shachach. Therefore, that does not create a basas of davar aser. The Gemara talks about a rock on top of a barrel. Any type of shachach would be okay. And this comes up again often. This comes up often. Let's say, Shaila, you're wearing, right? You're walking on Shabbos on Friday night, and all of a sudden you realize you have a muktzah item in your pocket. You forgot to take out your car keys. Forgot to take out your wallet. Are my pants a basas davar aser? My pocket, which is in my pants, or in my jacket? Are my clothing a basas? The answer is no, because you forgot it there. Well, I didn't mean that it should stay there the entire Shabbos. So it's still muktzah, but my pants and jacket aren't muktzah. As we said, maybe you could walk home and dump it out, hold it upside down, and dump it. That's a case of shachach. In the case of shachach, would not be a problem for muktzah. One could just shake it out upside down, and that way it wouldn't be a problem. Good. Yeah, there.
When someone finds something in his pocket, would he have to go straight home, or is he able to continue on his way, and then when he gets home, just dump it out?
Let's say you're going to your friend's house. I would leave it I would dump it out in the first place that is safe. Meaning, if you're going somewhere else, if you're going to shul, don't wait till you get home. Find you're still moving muktzah indirectly, and you'd rather not, right? We had the discussion of maybe if you picked it up the heter, like the klisha malachta isser, but here it was the isser, you just forgot. I would try to get it out as soon as possible once I get to a safe place. Once I get to a safe place. Good. The Rama writes in Shulchan Aruch, one cannot create a basis for their friend. Ein adam oser davar she'einu shelo applies here too. Let's say I'm really mad at my friend. So I'm going to put 4 laptops on his bed on Friday night, on Friday afternoon, and have in mind that he's not going to be able to go to sleep. And I'll have in mind that he should be here all of Shabbos. You can't create a basis for your friend's items. Ein adam oseh basis lidvar chavero. That's what the Rama says in Shintes. Adam iniach davar muktzah al shel chavero lo amrina danasa bas davar aser ein adam oser al chavero shelo midaito. What about a wife, a husband? The Shmir Shabbos discusses a family member. Does that create buses? So a little tricky, but one can do. One has to think about these cases as best as possible. What the situation is. Good. Other rules and regulations. Only if there is chashivus to the muktzah item, we assume basis is created. Chai Adam says, but there's a few pennies. What do you have? 3 cents. 2 pennies, a few agurot. Like nothing, like money, but like tiny nothing. So that wouldn't create a basis either. It wouldn't create a basis. It's not chashiv. And that's why Rishonim had difficulty. So bones and shells and stuff also are like not chashiv. Why should that create a basis at all? Man, we just discussed. Putting them on a plate, it might be a problem. But either way, if it's not chashiv at all, then l'chorah would not create a basis. Good. That's what we discussed. That's the Chai Adam. Right. This is like a mayor. I would say like this case. If you have like very little, like 1 coin, like 10 agurot thing in your pocket, that probably doesn't create basis. So then maybe you could just leave it. You have something significant, so then it will be more serious to try to get rid of as soon as one can. Good. What if something is a basis, but it's also serving a different purpose? It's probably more important. Some of you might have in your homes, like under your sink, You got garbage that's connected to the door under the sink, like an aron over there. You know what I'm talking about? Like you open up the door under the sink and there's like garbage like connected to it. Again, isn't that if the garbage is muktzah, so the post can talk about, is that a basis? The door comes to basis, so you can't move the door. So the answer is no, because the door serves the function as the door. That's a more important function than, or at least as important function as the holding the garbage. And therefore, that wouldn't be a problem. Probably the most important halacha to know about basis is the following halacha. Because in this way, you can solve almost all your problems. Right? What are the issues? Let's say it happens every year, Sukkot. Shabbos, Chalamoid, Sukkot. Nobody wants to set up their silver candles outside in the sukkah. Problem is, I don't want to leave them out there the whole Shabbos. So what do I do? So this is when everybody knows the halacha. Basis lo davar aser is aser. But a basis lo davar aser ulu davar hamuter does not create basis. If you have a drawer which has muktzah and non-muktzah items in it, and you're looking for something, you're allowed to open that drawer because there's a basis davar aser ulu davar hamuter. On the tray in the sukkah, or even on your table, you have candles on the tray. Put something on the tray that is also chasha for you on Shabbos. Put the challahs, put something. It should be something of significance. Something of significance. Even though the candlesticks are worth a lot more than a challah, but challah is still significant. And therefore, that is how one solves many of the problems with basis l'davar aser. If you make it a basis l'davar aser ula davar hamuter, that is not a problem. That's why a wallet probably is not a basis, because there's some things in the wallet that are not muktzah. Garbage is probably not basis, because there are edible items in the garbage that we just chose to throw out. You know, most drawers, right? Anything that is also basis davar mutter is not a problem.
Rabbi?
Yeah.
One need not have intention to put the or leave the davar mutter there in order to allow for this heter.
Did you have to do it by kavana?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. As long as it's there.
All right.
Right? Even if you forgot it there. The post can talk about what if you meant to put something there, but you forgot to put it there. That's a machlokas haposkim. I wanted to put the challah, but I forgot. There are some that say you might be able to move that. Again, it depends on the lumdis. Is it hesach hadas? Is it tafel? I wasn't mesiach dat, so maybe I can move it even in that regard. But again, that's the case of the table that we spoke about before. If your table is set before Shabbos starts, like it should be, so then the whole table can be moved. It's not a problem. You have silverware and cups and everything, besides the candles. If the candles are on it. That is again a very important halacha that comes up all the time. Asas davar aser or davar hamuter. And Rav Moshe says, I'll just read you the Rav Moshe. You don't judge based on monetary value. Davar achashav lo dainin rak lafi shavusa. Vadai ofan the sidur v'kesef. You put a siddur on the candlesticks. Ish l'siddur chashivas yoser mi'akesef. Right? You have glasses and money. Right? Anything, if it's chashiv to you, then it is okay, and it would be able to be moved, and it would not be called a basis. Again, there's a lot of other lamaisa examples, but these are some of the ideas. Again, that we've spoken about over the past couple of weeks. We spoke about 4 or 5 types of muktzahs. That was the first total discussion, Kalishim Latal Isser, Muktzah Machmat Isser, Chesr and Kiss, all the others. Then we spoke about ways of moving Muktzah. That was last week. That was Tiltum Natzad and Tiltum Begufo. And times that you're allowed to move Muktzah, Graf Shalrei. Today we spoke about creating Muktzah, removing Muktzah, and basis, which is a separate topic. So hopefully this gives us an overview of laws of Muktzah, and we should try to, focus on it, because as the Rambam says, this helps create a different environment on Shabbos. Yeah, Yaakov.
Back to the banana case. If we don't we say like a davar sheish matir or whatever the lashon is that will become mutter in the future, it's aser, so the banana will be mutter. So why don't we
If
just
you
wait till
know.
Motzei Shabbos?
No, I mean, if you know it's going to be, davar sheish matirin is a concept in Hilchos, Yisr v'heter and bittul. Davar sheish matirin is not something that's batel. It's not batel. But in a case here where you know, if you know it's going to become ripe the next day, then it's like the clothing that's going to dry. Let's say they looked really green yesterday and they were kind of, it doesn't come up because I don't think ripening happens that quickly. If there's something that's really not edible and then it becomes edible, on Shabbos, so it really depends whether, you knew about that or not. Okay? Excellent.